This actually happened, and it still doesn't make sense. A woman was alone in her apartment late at night. It was quiet to quiet. She was scrolling on her phone when suddenly she got a call. She looked at the screen and froze. The number calling her was her own. Same number, exactly the same. At first, she thought it was a glitch, a bug, something wrong with the phone. But curiosity got the best of her, so she answered. For a few seconds, nothing, just silence. Then breathing, slow, heavy, uneven breathing. Like someone was trying not to panic. She pulled the phone away slightly, not sure what she was hearing. Then a voice whispered, "Don't go home." The call ended immediately. She sat there, confused. She was already home, so what did that even mean? She tried to laugh it off, told herself it was just a prank. But a few minutes later, her phone rang again. Same number, her number. This time, she hesitated. Her hand was shaking slightly, but she answered anyway. The same breathing, but now closer, more desperate. Then the voice came back, quieter this time, more urgent. "He's already inside." She immediately stood up. Her heart was racing now. She looked around her apartment. Everything seemed normal. The door was locked, windows closed. No signs of anything unusual. But something didn't feel right anymore. The silence had changed. It felt heavier, like someone else was there, watching. She grabbed her phone and dialed the police. Her voice was shaky as she explained everything. They told her to stay on the line, to stay calm, and not to leave the apartment yet. Then her phone rang again. Another call coming through, same number, her own. The operator told her to answer it. They needed more time to trace it. So she did. This time, she didn't hear breathing. She heard screaming, loud, desperate, terrified screaming. It was her voice, crying, begging, saying, "Please, don't open the door." Then a loud crash, something falling. The line went silent again. The operator came back on and said something that made everything worse. "We're tracing the call, but it's not coming from outside." Her entire body went cold. If the call wasn't coming from outside, then where was it coming from? She slowly turned around, looking at every corner of the apartment. Every shadow suddenly felt wrong. Then her phone rang again. Same number. She didn't want to answer, but she couldn't ignore it either. Her hands were shaking as she picked it up. She said nothing. She just listened. At first, silence. Then footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps. Walking across the floor, inside her apartment. But she wasn't moving. She was standing completely still. The footsteps kept getting closer. Then she heard her own voice again, right next to the phone, whispering,
"You shouldn't have answered."
At that exact moment, she felt something behind her, breathing close, right next to her. The call ended. The line went dead. A few hours later, the police arrived. The door was still locked, no signs of forced entry. Her phone was found on the floor, still recording. But she was gone. No trace. No explanation, just silence.